Hey everybody, Trail Ducker here with another Design League 4.2 playthrough, and this is Crossers 7. So as I said in the other ones, going through alphabetical order, so this is now the third one. The results aren't in yet, but I kind of know generally where they'll end up, so I'll mention that. Yeah, so this is the fair play competition where you have only fairways and greens and using the contours that you create to really create strategy rather than using hazards and rough and things like that. So with crossers, let's make sure we're on the furthest tee. Pin 3 is what I'm using for the playthroughs, and then wind speed, go low so that doesn't really affect us. So let me add some music. So zooming out, he's got some planting. He definitely did some perimeter environment work, which is greatly appreciated. Because not everybody did this much. And has a little clubhouse back here, or castle. And first thing, the lighting is way too low. It's pretty blinding here, and it's kind of going against. It's helping the contours. I get why you did it, but it doesn't need to be that low. I like the idea of this green with the kind of fall away that you gotta be clear of. This dip is a little weird. I feel like this whole back end should have just been higher, but good start. And I will say this, it's like red in my club gap. I will say that this course is definitely in the top like 3 or 4. Is where it will end up. I think some of the judges didn't like the weren't big fans of the texture type as well. Actually, I forgot to look at the other judges' notes. So let me. Yeah, the darker green texture, some people didn't like. Oh. I guess I hit that too hard. I don't know how that didn't fall in. Yeah, and then going to a full hole. This one has a little bit of strategy, although I would say that the perimeter is a little overused. This fall off. I would like a little more contouring in this kind of valley that the course goes around. These slight dimples don't really do much. So this is one of the better in terms of strategies for the green to the fairway contours. I'll discuss a little bit more, but most of this competition, people kind of put in humps randomly, and they didn't really respond or coordinate the humps to the green shapes and contours. So across the board, that was something that could have been worked on. The one thing though is the green does actually, with the contouring, kind of favor a shot down here because of the way it all slopes towards there. So maybe pushing the green and kind of exaggerating the contouring right at the green so that here you have the ability to bounce it on, where here you have to fly it in, because that contouring here, I'll see how I do down here. The contouring kind of favors down there. Oh, and I fasted it anyway, so I didn't need to aim down there. That fast kind of screwed up my me showing what I mean. I do think it almost happened there on that hole, but I do remember some of the green contouring is a bit like too severe at points. I think this hole is one of them. But this hole was, I think, one of the best in the competition. It is a little bit overutilizing the perimeter, but I do like that if you hit over to that side, it's a harder approach to this reachable par 5, to this green cascading away from you. I think the green needed to still be a little bit toned down, because with a long, even from this end with a long club, it's hard to hold the green, but it's a really cool concept. And I like the risk reward where, yeah, and the green is still kind of, it's too angled. The green should have been a little more angled towards where my golfer is, or just left. Here it's impossible to get a great angle. I think you were kind of responding to this hump here, but I think you should have manipulated that so that the angle is basically like here, like straight down this way, rather than here, where it's basically impossible to get that angle right. Because even here, I had a pretty good, I mean, you saw I squirted right past that, and I still kind of am blocked. So I like the concept of the hole, but I do think some more finesse needed to be done, because right now I'm not entirely sure what the best route for me to go is. So I'm gonna kind of lay back, and you see right there, it's really hard to hold that green. So that could have been done a little bit less severe. I know it's a reachable par 5 and you need to kind of ramp up, but it needs to also be achievable. And not only just by a perfect shot, but by decent shots, rather than only one exact perfect shot. I do like this whole design. I like the concept of it, where you can kind of try to tuck it over that hill, but you really need a good drive to get there. And you can go here, you can lay it back here for just a longer shot, but you still, and you're a little bit more just hitting into the shallow side, but this is a really good hole too. I will say, with this hole and the last hole, and kind of hole 1 and hole 3, you're doing a lot of this banking the green into the side of the hill, and I admit I love to do that too. But for a 6-hole course, it's kind of a lot of the same thing, and so that could have been done differently on. There could have been a little bit more to adjust the same kind of strategy and same kind of concept. And this is a bit too severe, especially for how long this hole is. Because that's basically like 10-foot drop. It's a bit severe for how close it is to the fairway. So this could be smoothed out to make it just more gradual, not as like deep. And then I mentioned it before, but how this could have more humps and bumps in this valley. And this little dip that I thought I was going to hit in doesn't really make sense to me. I feel like that should have been raised so that it doesn't exist, and it's just like a constant downslope from that hill that the green is banked into. Unless you put a bunker in there. Maybe you did that as try to make it like a hazard, which I guess I kind of see now. But it seems a little forced. So again, here there's no rhyme or reason to where I hit. It's a little bit flatter here, so I guess try to hit there. But for the most part, there's not an overall concept of it. And then this is kind of the same, just 90 degrees green concept. So it's a bit too repetitive in terms of the concept that you were going with. Not saying these holes don't work, just saying for 6 holes, having the same concept kind of over and over again, it's just a little repetitive. Over the course of 18, that would be fine, but for 6 holes, well, that'd be fine with other holes put in that do different stuff. Just gotta add a little more variety to it. But you got a good variety of hole lengths. I don't know if you needed necessarily 2 par 5s. This competition's a little hard to make par 5s interesting. So you probably could have gotten away with 1 par 5 instead, but regardless, I think you had some of the best individual holes. I think your texture and the lighting kind of hurt you. There was a little bit of overuse of the perimeter, and then some of your harsh sculpting. So I think you were close. You weren't far off from trying to win 2 in a row, so good job on that. Yeah, thank you for entering, and see you next time.